Thanks. He is the original Apprentice, and he has made quite a name for himself as an entrepreneur. And in fact, he's the keynote speaker at an event today in Providence. Bill Rancic joins us live in our studio this morning. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
First of all, I want to ask, we have to talk about the Apprentice because I need to know, is Donald Trump, I mean, he really comes across a lot like Simon Cowell. I mean, just, you know, terrifying. Is he really that way that you see him on TV?
I mean, he is, what you see is what you get.
Okay.
But he's a nice guy. I mean, when I first got hired on by the Donald, I was a little bit nervous.
The Donald, you really call him the Donald?
Or Mr. Trump, however, you know, but the Donald. But I was a little intimidated.
Yeah.
But once I met him and spent some time with him, you know, he's a good guy. He really, he took me under his wing and you know, opened up his world to me.
And do you really feel like, I mean, did you really feel like you got real world experience and that it benefited you to be working?
Yeah? Oh yeah, definitely. In fact, it was only supposed to be a one-year deal for me, and that turned into 2, and then 2 turned into 3. So
wow.
I was very fortunate, and I got to work on one of his top projects in Chicago, which was a high-rise.
Yeah,
it was a great
cool.
learning experience. I mean, it's a multi-million-dollar education that I received.
Now, I know that you have written 2 books. One of them is Beyond the Lemonade Stand, and you're hired, How to Succeed in Business and in Life. Tell me about these books, and do you draw off your experiences on The Apprentice?
Absolutely. And I wrote, the second book I wrote was Beyond the Lemonade Stand, and that was a book I did for kids. Kids between the ages of 8 and 13. And I just found that, you know, I was going around doing a lot of charity events, and there were so many young kids who had that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah, and no fear.
Right, and no fear.
Right, so how do you channel that?
Right, so I wrote the book for kids, and I donated all the money to kids who were at risk, and it did real well, and kids loved it, and, you know, it just helped them channel that entrepreneurial spirit that they have. You know,
I have to say, you know, you're speaking at you're the keynote speaker at this event in Providence, We Mean Business.
That's right.
And I have to say, you know, we have more than a 12% unemployment rate right now. A lot of businesses are really struggling to hang on. What kind of advice do you hope to offer people, particularly in this area, to get them through this difficult time right now?
Well, you know, I think a lot of small business owners, they get caught in the rut. And they do things the way that they've always done them because that's worked for them in the past. But as we know, the world has changed.
Yeah.
So, you know, the one thing that I'm going to talk about tonight is the key to being agile.
Okay.
And if you're not agile in your business, you're going to go out of business. And as the economy's changing, we need to react and adapt and make changes in our business to supply the needs that the community now wants. Not the way we did it 2 years ago or 3 years ago, but what is happening right now, right here.
Tell me about the event, where it is, and I understand it's a free event, so anyone could come down.
That's right. It's a free event. I go on at 4:30 at the Veterans Memorial Auditorium, and then there's an expo all day long at the Renaissance right next door where there's different breakout sessions. People can come, and even if you don't own a business, if you want to start a business, there's going to be people there that can help you start your own business.
Awesome.
And all the state and federal agencies will be there to help them get, you know, patents or trademarks or help getting SBA loans. Everything's right there, so it's one-stop shopping.
That's a great resource.
Oh my goodness, I wish I would have had that when I was starting my business.
Bill Rancic, thanks so much for being here, and I have to say, we haven't even touched, talked about your wife, or we haven't even touched the new show on the Style Network, and I'm dying to talk about that. So, we're going to keep you around for a little bit, and we're actually going to bring him in for the buzz in just a few minutes, but for now, we're going to get a check of weather with meteorologist